Hello YouTubers, welcome to Preparation. This is Discovering One Channel. Thank you for subscribing to this channel and also for your contribution, one way or the other, to keep this channel going. For some time now, we have been discussing about how to design a free generator. We have also discussed about different way this free generator works, the component you need. And we also discuss mounting different generator using one single motor. When today we're going to look at another issue. One of my subscribers sent this video to me of an issue he has on generator conversion. Let me start by commending him for the step taken. I think it's a very good step. It means he learned something and applied it. This is the first principle of success, application. So he has been able to put into practice what he has learned, and he came out with something. The issue he's having is the issue of a power switch over. Whenever you switch over from the generator power, the voltage went down. But the design is okay. It converted this 5.5 kV generator, this generator now, it converted it to this, what you see now, this. And then he tested it and it's working. But the issue is how it can sustain the power 7 system. That's where the issue comes now. So he sent this video to me and explained the problem. Now let us hear from him directly, then I can answer our work.
Hello sir, this is the generator I was talking about. This is the method I used. And this is the connection. It gives light when I run it. It gives full voltage when I run it with electric, the public light, but doesn't work with battery because this is a treadmill motor. So over time now, I've been trying to do the switch over method by when running it from the public light, then switching over, but it keeps offing. So I don't know if there is a transformer or a switch, or should I use a smaller motor which can run with battery. But I don't know if I use a smaller motor. Look at this motor now. This one runs with battery. I don't know if it can rotate this particular generator, which is 5.5 kV. So I decided not to use it because I don't know if it's going to rotate it properly and give it full voltage. That was why I had to go for this. So I passed my neighbor generator using this same motor. Using this is working fine, but I'm also facing a challenge of it charging enough battery, bringing up enough voltage to charge the battery. So that's just the area I'm having. And the truth is that I've started building this for people and hoping that it's the following up the training online you'll be teaching would actually help. But I now came to realize that I'm not yet I've not really yet gotten it well. I should. So that's just the challenge I've been facing.
Yes, we have listened to what is happening. Now, the issue now, first of all, I will say thank him for the step he has taken. Now, the issue is talking about the conversion ratio. The switching over from the external power supply to the internal has to do with the break in transmission of the voltage. Like this is a DC AC motor, sorry, it's AC motor because it plug into the public power supply and it's working. So if AC motor and DC motor are two different things, this one here is DC motor. As you can see, this is DC motor 1 horsepower and it's 3,500 ampere, which is very important because this high speed will run this generator perfectly well. And the generator does not require too much, does not need too much high speed, so it doesn't carry too much turning power. So the 1 horsepower is okay to drive this generator. So the motor you mentioned about, which is DC motor, if it's at least 1 horsepower, number 2, the RPM, which is very important, is driving between 2,000 to 2,000 to 4,035 is okay. You can apply it on the generator if you wish to. Then the area where is having issue of changing from the power, that if you plug in the external power supply, the voltage run, the generator run perfectly okay. But when you remove it and plug internal, the generator goes off. First of all, is the area of break in voltage. Let me explain this by using this example. You are paddling bicycle, and if you want to climb a hill, you will need a full force of paddling to move the bicycle fast to the hill. Now, suddenly a young child crosses the road unexpectedly. You mash the brake. When you mash the brake, the bicycle stops and the child crosses. Now, when you want to start again at that time, you will need another force again. Otherwise, the bicycle will not move. It's exactly what happened to this system. When you plug the external power supply, the voltage run perfectly okay. Now, you change over, which is the child crossing the road. The voltage run that completely because one, there's no flywheel that can keep the motor with it as speed as fast. The voltage slow. What you need now, you will need a reinforcement to keep the motor, because the motor is the engine room of the system. I say it in occasion, if the motor is not functioning, the generator will not function, because the generator receives its power from the motor, and the motor to continue to run, it needs a constant supply of voltage. So if you are switching over from external power supply to internal power supply, then you will do it so that the voltage to the motor does not stop, or the voltage, because the moment the voltage from the motor stops, the motor slows down, the generator will run down. So that is the issue most of my designer are having. What you do now, if such a case happens, is for you to apply a device. We can call it a booster or a transformer, as the case may be. I had emission stabilizer. If you have a stabilizer that keeps the voltage stable, that's that will stop the voltage, because you need a temporary voltage supply to keep the motor, because the motor does not need to stop. I keep saying the motor doesn't need to stop. If the motor stop, to pick up again, it will need to supply. So in the period of switching over, the motor stop, and then even if the voltage, because if the motor stop, definitely the generator will stop, because if the motor stop now, let me say, if the motor, if this motor stop, the generator will stop, because generator is feeding from the motor. So for this to continue to supply, continue to move, continue to give you what you want, you must keep the motor running. So what you do now is to attach a boost or a transformer on the motor, so that if you switch over, the temporary storage of the voltage on the motor can keep the motor running before the generator supply. Let me understand the techniques. You must be able to have a device that keep the motor on a stable supply. If you do that, you will not have issue of power break. I won't say more than that. You must have a device that keep the motor supply a little, so that the generator can be able to send its voltage to the motor fast. Because the moment the motor goes down in supply, definitely there will be slowed down in the generator aspect, because the generator feeding its own supply from the motor. So this is where most of you have issue. The way most of you have issue is to keep the motor running, because the motor is the engine room, and as long as the motor is not break in transmission, does not have a break in transmission, you have no issue. You have no issue at all. It is only when the motor goes down that you have issue, because the motor must keep running on a normal speed to keep the generator running. So if there's a break in that, definitely issue comes in. So that is area. So if you talk about a device you're going to use to keep the motor going, that's what you're already looking for. You look for that. For by so doing, there's booster, there's transformer. You can all those ones keep things going. That's what you have. So you have no issue at all. In fact, you have already know the problem already. What you just need to fascination. And number two, I want to tell you that down in engineering design, you don't feel discouraged when you have issues, because first of all, you have done something, you are able to convert it successfully, which is an achievement. You have to congratulate yourself for doing this, because if you appreciate what you have done, first of all, it will be a booster. It will motivate you, it will force you more. There is no discovering or design that always won at the first instant smoothly. Go for it. Go and find out. Even those who design vehicles, or Toyota, Honda, whatever you can call it, Lexus, they always have versions, or modem, as you can call it. 2001 modem, 2003 modem, 2005 modem, 2008 modem, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2021 modem. Why they have modems? They look at the problem of the previous one. They have improved on the problem, solve the problem, and brings out a new version. That's what it means. We are seeing in the phones. We have iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone whatever, iPhone 5, iPhone 7, iPhone 12. All those ones are version. Look at the previous one. Look at the problem they're having there. They solve the problem. They bring a new version that shows that that problem you're having. As it means there's a batteries problem. They work on the batteries, solve the problem of batteries. They bring another version. They show the batteries have been solved. So this one you are talking about, it can be version 1. When you solve the problem, you have version 2. So these are the issue about design. So when you are doing design, you must be appreciating yourself. Any problem you solve in engineering solution, you have solved a problem. You have been able to time when you say you have to do an habitat plan and labor generator solving the problem and it's working perfectly. It shows what they're doing is working. Now what you are having now is to solve a site problems, which is what we're talking about now. So you should thank God you will be able to solve problems. And then think what you're talking about, that's what I'm talking about. It's not even a problem. It's a matter of you have already talked, you have mentioned things which have even been solved the problem. So your complaint does not even outstanding. But thank you for bringing it back to us so that other people will learn. So what you just need to do is to apply those things. You get a transformer, you have a booster, it will solve. So you have done well, and I'm happy that you have tried something, and I'm though you have seen this conversion, and it's okay. Continue to do the best you can do, and don't forget any problem you have, always send it to us. We can able to encourage you what it's not about. And the problem you're having basically is on the motor driving voltage. So attach the device. You have transformer attached or attach a booster to keep the motor up on voltage, and that's all sort of problem. Then if you think about the DC batteries, using the DC batteries on this, you check the RPM. The RPM is very important. The RPM will guide you. If the RPM is in from 2,800 and above, it's okay. You can be able to keep the mood, because this generator does not require too much. Listen. Then you talk about the battery, sustaining battery to charge. This voltage cannot charge battery. AC voltage cannot charge the batteries directly. You must attach a charger. So if you want to charge AC to DC directly, it won't work because they are different in amplitude. So you need to attach charging system. That if you see the batteries run down faster, then look at the strength of the batteries too. Because if the batteries run down faster, it means the battery strength is unable or is not able to run to carry the generator as much as you think. I have seen the two batteries you kept there, which is too small. So those things have to look at it too. So if you want to have a good system, you should go for, if you're going to use battery system as well, but DC, because this is the batteries, then you need a bigger battery to use as a program. So thank you for your contribution and also for sending this to us. Please, I appreciate that.